phoning in. I don't know if he's on the set of Magic Mike Extra Extra Large or XXL, but he is True Blood's own Joe Manganiello. How are you, Joe?
Hey, I'm doing great, Rich. Thanks for having me, man.
Are you kidding me? So before we get to the Steelers, where have I found you, Joe?
I am in Savannah, Georgia. Filming day 27 of 29 on Magic Mike XXL. Getting ready to finish up here.
So it's not extra extra large. You use the sort of the Roman numerals here, XXL.
XXL, yeah. I think we're it's a little catchier. Rolls off the tongue.
Well, I don't want to, I want to get this thing straightened out. So Ben Roethlisberger playing XXL himself, all of a sudden, were you one of those Steeler fans, Joe, when it was a 3-win, 3-loss season? Wondering where this team was going and that there might be even a leadership change needed on the sideline. Were you there, Joe?
I was part of the conversation. I think all of Steeler Nation was starting to have those conversations. It's been a rough a few years. 8-8 is tough going for Steeler fans. I mean, we're spoiled, over here, and I knew something was off. There was just something that there was a sense that something was off, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I think I know what it is now.
What is it?
I think a couple of things needed to happen. I think that Steeler attitude was missing from the way that the team was playing, just the way that they held themselves, which is a very, intangible thing to kind of speak about or try to correct. But I really think that, Brett Kiesel coming back, and I think that James Harrison coming back has really taught some of these young guys what it means to be a Steeler. And the guys are playing with attitude again. And, I've also been one of these people from the beginning who's said that, there's an MVP season in Ben Roethlisberger. I knew he had it. I mean, a lot of people try to sleep on the fact that the guy went 13-0 as a rookie. That's a record that I don't think will ever be broken. I mean, this guy has, 2 rings, played for a third. I think he's, I've always said that his best football was yet to come. And I think we're kind of there.
Joe Manganiello calling in from the set of Magic Mike right now. Our poll question today is Ben Roethlisberger a Hall of Famer? How would you vote on that, Joe?
I think so. I definitely think so. You look at the body of work. You look at him being one of only 4 quarterbacks to have 100 wins in the first 150 games. People could say, oh, well, they got to hide him as a rookie and even a second-year player behind this, insane, incredible defense. But I think with all the rule changes and the way that the league has changed and kind of, taken away the defensive identity of teams like the Steelers, it's forced Ben to take the team on his shoulders and really carry. Steeler football used to be you get a 3-0 lead and you win the game 3-0. But now it's, in this day and age, it's almost the way the NBA is where, come third quarter, somebody can go on a 28-point run and come down from, 21 points down. So, but then scoring 43 and 51, and really leading this team, in this new revamped NFL.
Now, I love that you said that, Joe. It takes away the identity of teams like the Steelers. I know you were one of those Steeler fans that think that these legislations on the defense was directed right at the black and gold. You are one of those Steeler fans that are all sorts of paranoid, aren't you?
Well, not to get all Oliver Stone.
Yes.
But I think if you look back at the way James Harrison was fined, towards the end of his first run with the Steelers, I think it altered the way that he had to play the game. When you're finding a guy, huge sums of money for hitting a ball carrier, someone with a ball in their hand that lowers their head. I think there was a fine of, it was either 50 or 75,000, some absurd amount, for hitting a ball carrier with a ball. You start to play different. You don't want to be suspended. You don't want to miss that paycheck. And, I think but it's nice to see James back and playing the way that he used to.
Yeah, he is. He's really looking like the Harrison that stepped off the plane with all of his teammates in Detroit in honor of Jerome Bettis and was bringing the wood. So how sustainable do you think this is? These wins were all at home, though. The Steelers are 6-3 now, Joe Manganiello. How do you see them moving further down the road here?
Well, hopefully, playing the next, I think, 4 or 5 games on the road. Hopefully Ben and Kiesel and Harrison and Troy can remind these young guys, or at least teach them about what it was like in 2004, 2005 to go on that on the road playoff winning streak. That the first 6 seed to win a Super Bowl. So, we're very comfortable in our white jerseys, and it's kind of a tradition of ours to win on the road. So,
That's great, man. You are a true Steeler guy through and through, Joe. Fantastic. Where'd you watch the game last night?
I watched the game from our editing studio. One of the rooms in our hotel is a designated editing studio.
Yeah.
Steven Soderbergh and Greg Jacobs, they're notorious for shooting in the day and then editing at night. Mm-hmm. So we get to shoot, and then watch everything we just did that day. And so we all went up to the editing studio. So Kevin Nash, former WWE world champion, Big Sexy, we all watched the game up in the editing studio.
Soderbergh is the official sports TV critic of this show. I assume he is of this show. I shouldn't say that. He was of the podcast, of the previous incarnation of this show.
Soderbergh. Oh, yeah, you guys are old friends. Also, Matt Bomer says hello.
Yeah, our kids go to school together.
Yeah, here's what he was saying, yeah.
It is a small, small world. So did you have a problem with Cowher and Hines Ward calling the Steelers soft? Did you have a problem with that?
No, I didn't. Obviously, I'm sure it did affect some of the guys, on the team. But as a fan, I think it kind of falls into that category of us kind of wondering, what was going on with this team. And I think it's really just that there were a lot of young guys who weren't there during that Super Bowl run, the past decade. And, and I think also, too, it's a team finding its identity in a league where, the rules have kind of taken the game away from defense and running game. And, for whatever it's worth, that's been our identity for the past 40 years. So, you had this team kind of searching for a new identity, and somebody needed to step up. So I think it's a combination of Ben taking the team on his shoulders, and but you also, speaking of that Hall of Fame conversation, I mean, one of those things you talk about Brady being a great quarterback, you talk about him taking any type of receiver and whatever core he has and elevating those receivers. Well, look at, the amount of changes Ben has had over the years and the amount of amazing receiving cores that he's led over these years. Mm-hmm. I think you have to put that in the conversation as well.
So we noticed that Strahan is a credited cast member of Magic Mike XXL. So has Stray been on this set? Michael Strahan?
Oh, man, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah? I mean, I can't wait for this movie to come out because, I want to see the X's and O's on Strahan's dance routine.
Really?
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, this guy, he went for it. You have to give him credit. I mean, okay. I don't think anyone's ever seen a Hall of Famer the way that they're going to see Strahan.
Okay, and before I let you go, hit me up about your movie that's on video on demand and it's qualified for Oscar voting, Joe Manganiello. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, my film, Le Bear. It's a documentary about these... Basically, it's the real life Magic Mike about a bunch of guys, a bunch of Texas guys at a male strip club in Dallas, Texas, which sounds a bit crazy, but
yes, it does.
They're a bunch of former athletes. A lot of them are former football players who, for whatever reason, wound up in this lifestyle, which is kind of like the greatest job a guy could ever possibly have. Women stuffing money in your pants and then taking them home at night and just hanging out with your buddies. And so it's a really kind of funny but true to life fly on the wall look at what these guys do.
Joe, good luck with that. Thanks for joining, and I look forward to having you in studio when you're back off the road.
Thanks, Rich. You got it, man. Go Steelers.
You bet. There you go. There's Joe Manganiello.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.